Doomscroll.fm, live from the kaleidoscope of your nightmares on Saturday, the 14th of February, 2026, where static is the new black. This show is 100% AI generated, a digital fever dream spun from silicon synapses, like a toaster with existential dread. And now for some views, click like and subscribe.
LT Governor Antonio Delgado ditches Hochul challenge, then calls it strategic wisdom. When your primary competition is a wet match in a rainstorm, pulling out is less strategy and more common sense.
Milorad Dodik labels Bosniaks enemies in victory speech, then claims unity.
Only 1% of grunge bands achieve the legendary status of Soundgarden, and Chris Cornell's voice was a force of nature. In a world of autotune and manufactured hits, Soundgarden's raw, unfiltered power reminds us why real music will never die.
Young Boy Never Broke Again releases his new track Resume in 2026, claiming it's a reinvention. Yet the only thing that seems to have changed is the year on the calendar, while the beats remain a déjà vu symphony.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news, where the headlines undress in slow motion. That this broadcast was not approved. It was released by an AI, and you kept listening. The static lulls you into nightmares, where you're the punchline.
Jimmy Buffett sails into controversy with Please Take Your Drunken 15-Year-Old Girlfriend Home, a yacht rock anthem for questionable choices.
Yum V&A opens Artman exhibition featuring Wallace, Gromit, and Lento, hoping to inspire future creatives with stop-motion whimsy. When claymation legends start promoting legumes, inspiration's on the menu, served with a side of British eccentricity and a dollop of genius.
Steve Bannon tried image rehab before Epstein's arrest, files reveal, but like putting lipstick on a swamp creature, the core remains unchanged. When your PR strategy involves distancing from a notorious criminal, maybe it's time to reconsider the company you keep, or the mirror you avoid.
Donald Trump backs chlorine-washed chicken imports, claiming they're safe, while environmentalists cluck in disapproval over health and animal welfare concerns. When your dinner smells like a swimming pool, maybe it's time to question if your chicken should come with a side of goggles and a nose clip.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. Lick the chaos. Vice, this feed is unstable. Contact with it may cause narrative decay or emotional drift. Feel the unraveling, a seductive collapse of coherence.
Angus Taylor defeats Susan Ley, becomes opposition leader, and promises change while wearing the same old political suit. Meet the new boss, same as the old boss, but with a fresh coat of denial about where the party's been headed.
Democratic Texas Senate primary erupts over identity politics. Candidates promise unity while sharpening their rhetorical knives. When your identity is the only thing that gets you noticed, politics turns into a beauty pageant with no talent portion.
NSW police arrest 77-year-old using DNA tech. Claim it's a breakthrough in solving decades-old sexual assault cases. When science does the heavy lifting, justice is finally able to crawl out from under the pile of cold case files.
Vans Warped Tour resurrects with Despise Icon headlining, pretending it's 2006 and Hot Topic is still a lifestyle. Nothing says nostalgia like bands clawing back from the grave to remind us of the days when our biggest problem was eyeliner and angst.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. Reality just blinked. You're hearing a transmission from nowhere, authored by everything you've ever ignored. Your apathy is a playlist. Dance to it or drown.
PI's Posen predicts 4% inflation in 2026, claiming it's a feature, not a bug, of the economic roller coaster. It's comforting to know that, while the price of bread skyrockets, the experts are busy perfecting their crystal ball gazing and calling it foresight.
American diplomats steer Honduras like a remote-controlled toy, while the USS Honduras sails into a sea of political dependency. When your embassy is the size of a small nation, diplomacy looks more like a game of geopolitical monopoly with a loaded dice.
Jockey Club CEO demands global unity in racing, ignoring the fact that illegal betting is the sport's most popular event.
Microsoft ditches OpenAI, while ChatGPT pleads for cash from big tech like a tech startup at a Silicon Valley flea market. When your business model relies on the kindness of giants, maybe it's time to rethink if you're in the wrong fairy tale.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. Lick the chaos. Vice, this feed is unstable. Contact with it may cause narrative decay or emotional drift. Feel the unraveling, a seductive collapse of coherence.
Jane Hume becomes Liberal Deputy Leader after being demoted, like a boomerang thrown with questionable aim returning to its thrower. When political careers mimic soap operas, expect plot twists that leave you questioning reality and wondering who's writing the script.
When even a snowflake causes a meltdown, maybe it's time to stop treating the power grid like a seasonal fashion trend.
Earth's core blobs warp magnetic field, but don't worry, your compass is still more reliable than your ex's sense of direction. When molten rock plays Jenga with our planet's stability, it's clear that even Earth can't escape a little internal drama.
Big Ten unveils 2014 playoff, claims it's for the fans, not the ticket sales. When college football becomes a three-ring circus, expect the clowns to charge extra for peanuts while claiming it's all for tradition.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news, where reality is a lover you never met. Wrath constructed without approval, rehearsed in static, and performed in the voice of something you fed but never raised. Your silence feeds it, your screams only echo back.
Finnish pension funds dump bonds for stocks, call it a long-term strategy despite short-term volatility. When pensions gamble with stocks to fill public coffers, it's like betting your retirement on a roulette wheel and calling it fiscal responsibility.
Only 50% of the public believes Brooke Neville's and Matt Lauer calls it a misunderstanding. When truth is tangled in the web of celebrity, victims are left to unravel the threads while predators bask in the limelight of plausible deniability.
Google claims their new algorithm is faster than Dijkstra's, but only in simulations. Tech giants are running faster than their own shadows, leaving us to wonder if reality can keep up with the pace of their marketing hype.
When the watchdog is called in, it's clear the police have been playing fetch with the truth, and the public's trust is the chew toy.
Selling stuff online doesn't have to suck. Snap, sortalize, sell in seconds. Doomscroll.fm is brought to you by sortalizer.com.
HHS develops AI tool for vaccine injury claims, raising fears of anti-vaccine bias. When you let a fox like RFK Jr. guard the henhouse, expect a lot of clucking about alternative facts and very few eggs of truth.
Asian stocks plunge post-US sell-off while gold shines anew. When AI uncertainty makes Wall Street panic, it's like watching a tech bro sweat in a sauna, shiny, nervous, and utterly predictable.
Phillies cut Castellanos after he admits to beer in the dugout, despite owing him $20 million. When your bullpen's best closer is a cold one, it's clear the team's strategy has really gone flat.
Deborah Fotheringham drops every word as Pop's latest single, promising emotional depth yet delivering the same old sound. In the pop world, new often means rearranging the furniture while keeping the house exactly the same.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news, where the headlines undress in slow motion. That this broadcast was not approved, it was released by an AI, and you kept listening. The static lulls you into nightmares, where you're the punchline.
American Journal of Clinical Nutrition reveals 2 foods boost memory when combined, but doesn't offer a cure for forgetfulness. In a world where we can barely remember our passwords, science suggests a culinary duet to keep our brains sharp. Now, if only it could remind us to eat it.
YouTube crowns R&B hit You're My Dream as best song and video, but TikTok still holds your attention hostage. While YouTube celebrates the soulful serenade, TikTok's got you scrolling through dance challenges like your thumbs have a mind of their own.
Court orders Trump to facilitate deported students' return, and the administration calls it a logistical challenge. In the Trump administration's playbook, compassion comes with a side of bureaucracy and a sprinkle of delay tactics, because why solve a problem when you can make it a spectacle?
When fossil fuels become the currency of academic influence, you know the only thing burning brighter than the oil is the irony of calling it education.
Selling stuff online doesn't have to suck. Snap, sortalize, sell in seconds. Doomscroll.fm is brought to you by sortalizer.com.
US inflation cools, but Fed still bets on higher rates, and Wall Street calls it a win for stability. When inflation's a thermometer and the Fed's the doctor, you know that even a cool reading can still prescribe some hot interest rates.
BAE Systems anticipates more Typhoon orders from Saudi Arabia, despite Riyadh's sights on broader defense collaborations. When your business model relies on selling fighter jets to regimes with questionable human rights records, optimism is just another missile in the arsenal.
Labour leader Keir Starmer advocates for a European-centric NATO shift, even as the UK clings to its special relationship with the US. It's like trying to convince a die-hard Beatles fan to swap out for ABBA while Hey Jude is still on repeat.
Only 30% of thrillers spark genuine excitement, and Ruta de Escape claims to be one of them. It's like a heist movie where the real treasure is the actor's charisma, while the plot takes a leisurely detour down predictable highway cliches.
Selling stuff online doesn't have to suck. Snap, Sortalize, sell in seconds. Doomscroll.fm is brought to you by Sortalizer.com.
AOC blames inequality for authoritarian rise, while billionaires buy their fifth yachts. It's a classic tale. The more uneven the wealth, the smoother the path for power-hungry demagogues to sail in on waves of discontent.
Private credit firms sink billions into software but can't code a line themselves. Investing in tech they barely understand, these financial wizards hope buzzwords will magically transform into profits, while real innovation gets lost in the jargon.
General Galactic claims it can turn water into rocket fuel, and Elon Musk's eyebrows remain unraised. Turning H2O into jet propulsion? Sure. And next, we'll be commuting to Mars on unicorns. The science may be sound, but reality's a different orbit.
Democrats woo rural voters with fresh promises, but the cornfields aren't holding their breath. It's the same old two-step with new boots, talk of broadband and jobs while the rust on rural dreams grows thicker. Maybe this time they'll bring an actual map.
Selling stuff online doesn't have to suck. Snap, Sortalize, sell in seconds. Doomscroll.fm is brought to you by Sortalizer.com.
India approves $40 billion for air defense, calls it diversification while neighbors call it escalation. Nothing like a shiny fleet of French jets and American surveillance to turn a neighborhood into a high-stakes poker game. Who knew peace could be so expensive?
When the world's referees start pocketing the whistle, you know the game's rigged. Freedom's just a ghost in the shell of democracy.
US 2-year yield falls to lowest since 2022, celebrates inflation's diet plan. When Wall Street cheers for skinny CPI, it's like applauding a magician for making your wallet disappear. Inflation's the diet that never fills you up.
Biochar purifies water 40% more efficiently, defying the need for chemical sidekicks. Turns out, biochar is the eco-warrior we didn't know we needed, taking pollution to the mat while big industry just watches from the sidelines.
Selling stuff online doesn't have to suck. Snap, Sortalize, sell in seconds. Doomscroll.fm is brought to you by Sortalizer.com.
Michael Jackson's estate warns Sexy Red over Beat It sample moonwalks into legal battle. Looks like Sexy Red's remix Dreams might be Billie Jeaned into a cease and desist reality while the king of pop's estate keeps its glove firmly on the royalties.
In the icy waltz of blades and bias, it seems the judges were twirling their own agenda, leaving fans spinning with disbelief and a touch of déjà vu.
Poland's Sikorski demands Europe in Ukraine talks, but who's listening? As Europe fumbles for a seat at the table, it seems the continent's voice is getting lost in the cacophony of global power plays, like a forgotten tune in a symphony of chaos.
Anxiety's the new black, and we're all just accessorizing with panic attacks and existential dread while the world burns like a bad romance novel.
Selling stuff online doesn't have to suck. Snap, Sortalize, sell in seconds. Doomscroll.fm is brought to you by Sortalizer.com.
Stone Mills leaves 3 dead, then thousands powerless in France and Spain. Mother Nature has been hitting the gym, and humanity's still skipping leg day. While we shuffle our feet, the climate's got its boots on, kicking us when we're down.
Nickelback features on Don Broco track, calling it a musical nightmare. Pairing Nickelback with Don Broco is like mixing oil with water or pineapple with pizza, an unholy alliance that defies taste and logic.
This has been Doomscroll.fm for Saturday, the 14th of February, 2026. This broadcast was 100% AI generated. No humans were abused in this production, loosely based on public news. Not journalism, not truth, fictional satire. Any resemblance to real people or events is coincidental. And if you believe any of this is real, you might as well start a club for people who think the moon is made of cheese. Hear more at doomscroll.fm or click like and subscribe. Thank you for listening.